Good morning, everybody. This is welcome back to A Game of Fangs of Thrones. My name's Hannah and this is a weekly reading vlog. So this week is a little bit different. I'm actually starting this vlog on Monday morning. I know. That's because I'm working the late for 2 days. Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm on holiday until the middle of the second week of August. So the plans for this week, I get past my 2-day stint at work, from 12:30 till 8:30 is my late, if anybody was interested. Get that done Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday is going to be a bit of a rush around day because on Thursday I'm actually going to Manchester with some family and some family friends. They don't want to be on camera, so I don't know how much I'll be vlogging, if I will be vlogging. I'll try. And so that's pretty much what I'm doing this week in terms of reading. I did get quite a bit read of Out of Oz last night. I'm on page 477. I'm just about to start part 2 of the chapter God's Great Niece. This book is 663 pages. And because I'm on the late, hopefully I can get some reading done tonight at work. I'll be up here working from the soft office anyway. So that's the plan for that. If I finish that, I have my TBR trolley here. In terms of what book I'm taking away with me because I'm going from the Thursday to the Saturday. We'll come back Saturday tea time. So I don't know what book I'm going to take. It'll probably just be whatever I'm reading at the time. So yeah, I'm pretty much just going to read, maybe work on the TBR game. Hopefully have that ready for the end of the month for you guys. I'm so excited about it. It's a take on Snakes and Ladders basically, with a bookish twist. But I'll explain that all in the video. And I think that's all I have for this little intro. If we're lucky, we might get some B-roll of me working, because, you know, I can turn the sound off and I'm in my bedroom. So I think that's everything I have to say for now. I'll come back to you if anything interesting happens. Oh, and happy Freedom Day to my UK viewers. It's Freedom Day today. It's the 19th of July, I think. Yeah, it's the 19th of July, so it's Freedom Day. Not much has changed. I mean, when I went, because I got up early, I helped my mum with some stuff because she's isolating, so she works in school, so she asked me to drop some presents off to the teachers that she works with, blah blah blah. And then I went shopping for my dinner for today and tomorrow, and a couple of people were not wearing masks. Majority of people were, but I mean, it is still early. It's only like 8:30, 9. So yeah, not much to report on that front. So I'll see you soon. I'm gonna make this update fairly quick because I am on my lunch at 3:30 in the afternoon. But you know, it's what you do when you work late. I finished Out of Oz. It's just here on the bed, and I gave this one 4 stars. It was a nice wrap up to the series, and that's the second one I have completed for this readathon, this Sequelathon. And I am interested in some of Gregory Maguire's other works. If I keep looking down, it's because my work laptop's just off screen, and I'm checking how much time I've got left on my lunch. So I am interested in maybe reading Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. What else did he write? I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's one more series down. I don't know if Oh yes, it's the second one at least that I finished, because I finished Kingdom of Ash right at the start. My current read is right here, and that is Goddess of the Sea by PC Cast. This is they're companion novels really, so I read them so I don't binge read these ones as such. I read them in between other books when I need something a little bit light and fluffy. This one follows Cece, or Christine Kennedy, who's home alone on the night of her 25th birthday. She drinks too much champagne, does a magic spell, and then her plane crashes into the ocean. She wakes up to find herself in a legendary time and place with bad magics, and in the body of the mythical mermaid Undine. So this is a Little Mermaid-ish retelling. But something's after her in the water. So our goddess Gaia turns Cece into a damsel so she can walk on land. A knight comes to Cece's rescue, but she doesn't want the knight. She wants the darkly sexy merman who's stolen her heart. With these ones, they're just a bit of fun. I never take them too seriously, but I do. But my favourite so far has to be Goddess of Spring, which is Persephone and Hades, with a little bit of Eurydice and Orpheus, I believe. They're in it a little bit. So I'm going to probably just read for the rest of my lunch break, or do some knitting, because I'm knitting myself a blanket now, just to use up the last of the blue wool that I've used for everybody else, and then I'll make a start on using some nice pink and grey wool that I have. Well, I say grey, it's probably more silver. So yeah, I think at the moment my YouTube autoplay is going through Olivia Reed Latte's vlogs, which are brilliant because they are something very soothing and relaxing about them. But that's just going to be a quick update, and I think I'm going to leave you here and speak to you when I finish work, if I remember. So it's now 8:30, I have finished work, and I finished the book. I gave it 4 stars. It was fun, it's a romance, so it's predictable, but it was a fun ride while it happened. And we did actually get a bit of a villain in this one as well, who was actually scary and a villain. But this one, I think I gave you a bit of a synopsis at the start, but it follows Cece, who switches places with a mythical mermaid called Undine. There is a quite a intense attempted rape scene quite early on. So if that is something you're uncomfortable with, just be aware of that going in. But it's got 4 stars on Copile. What let it down is for me at least, is the writing and maybe the plot. But we go into romances knowing what we're going to get out of them. So the writing, it's nothing spectacular, it's okay, but I may be jaded against the House of Night series because that series just went on far too long. So I finished that, and then I have just started Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the sequel to the Folk of the Air series, trilogy I should say, which started with The Cruel Prince. The sequel was The Wicked King, and obviously it ends with the Queen of Nothing, and these are the Illumicrate dust jackets. My edition of Cruel Prince is the Illumicrate special edition, but underneath the Wicked King and Queen of Nothing, they're just the standard hardcovers. Now, I enjoyed Cruel Prince enough, and I enjoyed the Wicked King a little bit less, so I'm hoping that this can at least make it a satisfying end to the series. I am enjoying Jude's Snark already. I'm only page 30, so I'm just started chapter 3, and this is 305 pages long, so this was slightly more. I think it was 392, and I read this in a day, so I should be able to read this one just as quick and check off another series on the master series list. So I'll probably just read that for a bit. Jade from JD Rereads has uploaded her weekly vlog, so I'll read that, and I think that's it for this update. So it's Tuesday morning. I've got an hour before I start work, so I thought I'd better pop in and update the vlog, which is why I'm sitting on the floor in front of the shelves. So this morning I've been working on my TBR game. I finished the numbers. I have my die up here in this box. This is the Roll the Dice reading list game box from Fairy Loot that I unboxed last month. But I want it for the 20-sided die, and I also have my 6-sided die in there just to keep it safe. So my purple die, my purple 20-sided die will come in handy in the TBR game, but I'll explain all of that when it's time to play. So I've just been working on that this morning, and I also finished Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the conclusion to the Folk of the Air trilogy, which is just there. Looking very smart in their exclusive Illumicrate covers by Rosie Thorns 88, I believe. The books themselves are just standard hardbacks. Well, Wicked King and Queen of Nothing. I think I explained that yesterday. But I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I didn't have that emotional connection with the books. It means it's an automatic 5-star for me, and I am sorry if I am on an angle. I think my tripod's at an angle and I can't quite work out why. So I finished that. I'm pretty much all packed for my trip to Manchester on Thursday, but today's my last day at work before I go on holiday, so I can just sort all of that out on Wednesday, tomorrow, and maybe Thursday morning. Because you know what it's like, you'll have everything packed, but then you'll think, oh, have I got this, have I got that, da 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 da, and there's always last minute bits to pack, like chargers, toiletries, books, because we can't forget the books, and obviously I'm going to be taking a pack of cards with me as well for on the train, so we'll just use the Fairy Loot ones, which are just live on the TBR trolley. So, plans for what I'm going to be reading next. Like I say, I've still got a bit of time before I'm due to start work. I've got about an hour, so I'll just sort of set up the soft office. And basically, whenever I say soft office, I mean the bed. I sort of just plug everything in and sit on the bed and chill. So that's that. But the book I'm going to be reading is actually on the TBR video, even though some of what, I don't know, Kingdom of Ash was on the list, the Goddess Summoning series was on the list, some of the Wicked Years was on the list, Queen of Nothing wasn't, but I just wanted something quick. And I think for the rest of this week, I think I might just read YA, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this one 9 books on the TBR shelf for this month. I think I've explained how my TBR trolley works before, but basically the top shelf here is my TBR for the month. This is the haul, which is why it's always full, and you can just see it in the bottom is my wrap up. And I've done well this month. I've read 11 books already, and we're only just over halfway through, I would say. It's the 20th today, so we're just over halfway through the month. We'll just readjust the camera angle. So, before I ramble on too much, I'll tell you what the book is, and it is Blood and Honey by Shelby Morin. This is the sequel to Serpent and Dove, and it is embarrassing how long I have had this one for. At least I took the sticker off this time. So we just have the standard edition, which will not match my Fairy Loot edition, which is just here. I'm proudly showing its exclusive dust jacket, but we do. I just thought and had to have it. But as far as I with this being a sequel, I'll not go too much into it, and with it being a new sequel as well, came out 2020, so it came out last year, so it is still fairly recent. In terms of recent versus backlist, anything published in the current year or the previous year, I count as recent. Anything, so 2020, 2021 is recent for me, whereas 2019 back over I would class as a backlist. So anything published in the year or the year before, recent. Anything 2 years or older is backlist. But anyway, because this one is still fairly recent, it was only published last year, I'm not going to go too much into it for spoilers. And I think everybody sort of knows about it, or have at least heard of Serpent and Dove. So Serpent and Dove follows Lou, who is a witch, and is it Reed? Why do I always forget his name? Yeah, and Reed, who is a witch hunter. So there are a series of circumstances that mean that Reed and Lou are married to try and protect Lou. Whereas Lou knows who Reed is, but Reed doesn't necessarily know that Lou is a witch. And shenanigans ensue, whereas they all have we have our main romance storyline between Reed and Lou, where they're getting to know each other. Reed is learning a few things that maybe the church was wrong, and Lou is obviously learning that maybe some things about her cup and her upbringing, well, she knew they were wrong anyway, but other aspects of it. Then we also have, why can I never remember names? I cannot remember names, but we also have Lou's best friend and some other characters whose connections are revealed later on. I'm doing a very good job of recapping books that I read a while ago, and so that's what that is. And the magic system in this book is really interesting. It's a give and take. So if you want to steal someone, if you want to break open a lock, you may have to break someone's heart, break a finger, break up a relationship, that kind of thing. So it does require balance, but how you get that balance is very open to interpretation, which I just thought was a really interesting take on magic. I love learning. I think that's why I like fantasy books so much, because I do just enjoy learning about these worlds, how they work, and magic systems, animals, how different people react to different things. But yeah, did I give you an update on what I thought about Goddess of the Sea? I think I did, because I told you I finished it, and then I told you I was starting Queen of Nothing. Yeah. So I think that's everything for this update. It was only meant to be a short one, and I've rambled on for about 9 minutes already, plus the 20 seconds previous where I was talking and didn't have the microphone turned on. So I'm going to... Oh, I have rock. I forgot about that. Anyway, don't get distracted, Hannah. So I'm going to set up my workstation, log in and read for a bit before I start work, and then I'll come back to you at lunchtime with an update on Blood and Honey, depending on how far I get. I know I said I would update at lunch. It's now 9:15, but I hadn't really started this book now. Look at that. I'm on page 369 out of 532, and I am absolutely loving this. It is giving me that character connection that I crave in books, that we all do. But I'm just loving being back with snarky Lou, Coco, who is just so sweet, Ansel, who's another sweet little cinnamon roll, Reed, who was going through some darkness of his own, and then Bo, who is just Bo. He's just crazy, and he knows he's just used to getting what he wants. So I think I told you briefly what this was about this afternoon. It's been a long old afternoon. The late shifts always confuse me like crazy. I always feel like I'm eating as well. But anyway, I am done with work from now until the middle of the second week of August, which off the top of my head I think is the 11th. Let's just check. Yep, the 11th. I go back on the 12th of August. So, I have a few videos, well, vlog ideas in the works, because I don't have to work, and as you guys know, I spend my weekends at my boyfriend's. There may be some scope to do some 24-hour readathons in the 2 weeks that I'm off. I'll probably just include them in the regular weekly vlog, and yeah, but I guess it's only 9:15 and I don't have work tomorrow. I do have a few things I need to do, but there's no real rush for anything, and so I think I'm just going to try and finish this tonight, and I'll come back to you if and when that happens. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow. So it's Wednesday, it's my first official day on holiday, and last night I did finish Blood and Honey. I just, my sister had gone to bed, so I couldn't update the vlog then, but this may be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I'm getting all tangled up here. But I gave it a 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. It gave me that emotional connection. Something happens to one of the characters that made me just go, and if something can make me, if I end up screaming at a character, crying at a character, loving a character, anything that gives me that emotional connection, the book automatically gets 5 stars, because that's what it is designed for. And I'll show you my nails just because it looks a little bit odd on camera without, because it just looks like my fingers or something. But yeah, it's like a reddy purple kind of colour with a little bit of sparkle. Anyway, so I only have one official book left to read, and that is Goddess of Light by PC Cast. That was the last book on the TBR. I'm about to start book 13 of the month. Come on, I think this is one of my better months. But I think I'm going to leave Goddess of Light and just continue with the YA trend that I've got going on. So I might read the Mirror Visitor book, book 2. I think it's The Missing of Claire de Lune, because it's still boiling. It's only 20 past 20 to 8, and it's warm already. So might read that, because that is a bit of a polar fantasy. It might cool me down. And when I was filling in my bullet journal, I have the master list of books I want to read, book series that I want to finish by the end of 2021, and I accidentally coloured in the wrong square. So I think what I was meant to do was colour in the second book for the Daverbird trilogy, but I started filling it in for Mirror Visitor. So I probably should finish that. I have my Kindle on charge for the weekend, because Manchester's still going ahead, and I don't really want to cart around 6,000 books, whereas with my Kindle I can do that. I can have my library on the go, so that's just charging there. I've done my review for Blood and Honey, and these reviews are just more so that I can just so I've got a place to put everything down so I can remember, because if a book is forgettable by the time, and I read it at the beginning of the month, by the time the wrap-up comes along, I will have forgotten most of what I've just read. So that's why we have this one. This probably will come with me to Manchester just in case I finish anything, but you know, that's all that's for. And so I think that's all for this update. It's too early to really do anything, but I did weigh myself this morning. I'm still on that 15 stone mark, which is not ideal, but I'm been on upward shifts for the last 2 days, and I always feel like I'm eating. I can't get my eating right on the late, so that's not too bad. So I think that's all for this update, and I'll come back to you when I've decided what to read and when I have some thoughts on it. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so it's Wednesday night, early evening. It's about, actually, what time is it? 6:25. And I know I said I was going to update you once I had gotten so many ways into The Missing of Claire de Lune by Christelle Dabo, which is the sequel to A Winter's Promise, the first book in the Mirror Visitor series, and I actually finished it. This morning I had some errands I needed to do. I didn't take the book with me, but then when I got home, I'd actually given my mum, lent my mum the first book, Winter's Promise, yesterday, and she's nearly finished that one. So I wanted to read the second book, The Missing of Claire de Lune, before her, because it was on the list anyway, and I didn't know when she would get to it. And honestly, I didn't expect it to read it so quick. But anyway, so I've been reading most of the afternoon. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It got 9s and 10s on Corpile, which is the rating system that J. Edgar Gross created. So I've just got my little review to write up, and then we're going to make a start on book 3, which is The Memory of Babel. Now I can't tell you much about this one, because obviously it's the third in the series, but the Mirror Visitor on a whole is a translated series from French by Christelle Dabo, pitched at young adults with obvious crossover appeal. It follows the story of Ophelia, who is a little bit awkward. There's a hair on my microphone. Who's a little bit awkward, a little bit of an eccentric genius, shall we say. And she lives on, in this world, the cities have been broken up. They are in floating cities called arcs. Ophelia, our main character, lives on one called Anima, and she... Is that what it's called? Yeah, she's on... she lives on Anima, and she is an animist, so basically she can animate her and her family and other inhabitants of Anima can animate objects, clothing, that kind of thing. They can also read the histories of these objects, and Ophelia has the rare gift of being able to travel through mirrors. So she's happy enough running the family museum. It's a little bit boring, it's a little bit dead end, but she's quite happy with it, until the Doyens, who I'm still not 100% who they are, but I think they are the bridge between the normal people and the family spirit, who in Ophelia's case is Artemis. Why was that so hard to say? But then so they've decided that she's going to marry Thorn, who is the treasurer from another arc called the Pole, and his family spirit is Farouk. Things aren't as they seem, and Ophelia feels a bit like she's a pawn in a bigger game. she's got a part to play in a bigger game than anybody realises, while still getting to know her taciturn and brooding fiance Thorn. So far, I think my Revisit had got 4 stars as well from me, 5 stars from me as well, Beck. I don't know if I read it when I was compiling or if I read it before. But anyway, so I'm going to start The Memory of Babel. And obviously this is a continuation of the events of the second book, but what I have heard is that Ophelia is on her own in this one. But yeah, this one, is this one about the same size? So it's about 448 pages, I think, of it. And there is a third, 447. And there is a fourth book, because Jade from JD Reads, the Lucky Woman, has a proof copy. And I am so jealous. Send me come on, Europa, please send me a proof. I'd love a proof. Anyway, that was a shameless begging. Yeah, I just love these covers. They're so interesting. I don't have the other two to show you, but Mirror Visitor is blue and it has a drawing of one of these arcs. Missing of Claire de Lune is yellow and it has a train. And then The Memory of Babel is obviously green and it looks like that. So it's a fun little update for you, and I can't find my camera remote. It'll be around here somewhere. So you'll just have to bear with this. Hi guys, it's Thursday, it's travel day, and I meant to update you last night on how I was getting on with The Memory of Babel by Christelle DeBose, book 3 in the Mirror Visitor series, and I finished it this morning. Well, in fairness, I did have some bits and bobs I needed to do this morning, and you know, those last minute travel necessities that you always forget about. Toothpaste, chargers, the camera needs to go in the bag as well, so I'll do that after I've done this update. But 5 stars. I absolutely adore Ophelia. She's not as brash or loud or arrogant or making me seem really bad, but she's not your typical YA female protagonist like Katniss. She's a lot more reserved, shy. She's actually described as it's not on this one, but she's like an awkward misfit or eccentric genius, and I think that is her to a T. I love reading from her perspective. She just puts everything in a different way, and she just sees things differently. She does read to me a little bit young, but again, that could just be because Anima is backwater arc. It's a bit like those country cousins that are often described in literature, where the cousins are always uneducated, they're slow, blah blah blah. But Ophelia's not like that. She's just uneducated about the different arcs that she finds herself on, so that's always a fun way of finding out how these work. Now, I don't want to give you too much in the way of what happens in this one, because obviously it is book 3 in the series, but if you haven't checked out A Winter's Promise, which is book 1, highly recommend it. And in terms of what I'm reading now, as I've said, it is travel day, so I'm just going to be chilling until the taxi's already booked, so just chill until it's time to travel. And in terms of books I'm taking, as we've seen, I'm in a bit of a, what's the opposite of a reading slump? Reading rush? But as we've seen, I'm on a roll at the moment. Memory of Babel was the 14th book I've read in June. Well, in July. Technically it's the 12th because I did read 2 books in June last month, but finished them after I finished the after I filmed the wrap up. So I'm going to take 2 books with me. I'm going to take Vulture by Bex Hogan, which is a sequel to Isles of Storm and Sorrow, which follows a pirate who wants to be pirate king, but her dad doesn't want that and sells her to the prince to try and keep the peace. And Liberté, which is by Gita Trelassy, which is the sequel to Enchante, which is magic and mayhem set in the time of the French Revolution. So I'm probably going to start Vulture, probably finish it by 5 o'clock, update you, and then get another book. But I'm definitely taking at least Vulture and Liberté, and I have my Kindle in my bag as well, because I have at least one sequel on there that I know about. So that's all for this update, and if anything interesting happens, I'll see you then. Different background. We made it to the hotel, and I started Vulture. Oh, it's upside down. Started Vulture by Bex Hogan, and I'm flying through it. I'm on page 100 and there's about 415 in this page, and I'm really enjoying it, and that's pretty much all I've got to say because it's a sequel and I can't tell you anything about it. So it's Saturday, got to remember that. Did I vlog yesterday? Yes, I think I did. I think I told you I was reading Vulture by Bex Hogan and that I had arrived safely. I am not naked, I'm just wearing a strapless dress that you've seen before. It's the white one with the flowers. I had a really good time in Manchester. Apologies for not vlogging more. The people I was with aren't away. Well, one of them is away that I vlog, but the other 3 aren't, and I didn't want to start getting camera out and pushing it in front of their faces and saying, "Here, speak." It was awkward enough in the bedroom. So I will quickly run through my thoughts on Vulture by Bex Hogan because, surprise, surprise, I finished it. So that's book 15 of the month. This is the explosive conclusion to the Isles of Storm and Sorrow trilogy by Bex Hogan. Viper is the first book, Venom is the second, and then obviously Vulture is upside down, and that is the third. I haven't ran this through a core pile yet. I'm thinking maybe 3-4 star. There was nothing bad about it. I enjoyed it, but it just didn't have the emotional connection I was looking for to give it a 5 star. Sorry, there was something on the camera. So that's that. And then on the I think I started this last night as well, but I read the majority of it on the train, and that is the other book I took this weekend, which is Liberté by Gita Trelassy, who I thought was French but is not. I think she's actually Italian. Yeah, born in Sweden to Indian and Swedish parents, and she writes about the French Revolution. In this one, it's set during the events of the French Revolution. Magic is banned, but Camille has magic and she actually lives for the revolution. So that it's about 414 pages, 440 pages, and I am on 256, so I'm more than halfway. I'll probably finish this at some point. But exciting part, the haul, because I did buy a few bits and bobs, shall we say. I bought lint, which is amazing. Well, technically I didn't buy these ones because these were the free gift because I spent over 12 quid or something. I bought Sean some chocolate and my mum some chocolate. and these ones are for me. They are the Marc de Champagne truffle ones, and I haven't tried them yet, but I'm sure they'll be lovely. I bought a new skirt and a new dress, and 2 t-shirts. One is Harley Quinn, and the other is the child, Baby Yoda, Grogu, whatever you want to call him. He's adorable. But then I did also buy 3 books. Who knows what my total book count is this month. That's going to be a fun haul. Anywho, I have the Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the sequel to the 5th season, which I did enjoy. What is the light? My light just went funny, but you know, we'll deal with it. So this is the sequel to the 5th Gate. I have read the 5th season, where we follow a multitude of different people. One is trying to find, well, not people so much as perspectives. One's middle-aged, trying to find her daughter. The other is a young girl, just coming into her powers. And then there's another one as well, but I can't remember who that one is off the top of my head. Oh, she's teenage, mid-20s, I would say. She's finished her training and she's branching out on her own. And obviously the Obelisk Gate is the sequel to that. And I think everybody knows about this book. But the 5th season is set in a world where each season wants to destroy everything, basically. Then we have 2 that I got on the buy one get one half price that Waterstone sometimes do. We have This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. I have Cinderella is Dead and absolutely adored it. So this one, to break an ancient curse, she must let her power bloom. Breesis has a gift. She can grow an apple tree from seed in a heartbeat, and flowers bloom at her touch. And when she inherits an old house, she suddenly has the privacy to test her powers for the first time. But as Bree starts to magic the house's rambling grounds back to life, she finds she has also inherited generations of secrets. In a hidden garden overgrown with the most deadly poisonous plants on earth, a dark legacy lies waiting for her. And Bree's long-departed ancestors won't let her rest until she finds it. Now, I think this is more magic realism than fantasy. I think it's set in a modern or contemporary world, as opposed to Cinderella is Dead, where that was set in a world created for it. But this cover, I do like this cover. She's pretty. And then we have Crowfall by Vashti Hardy. I've heard amazing things about Vashti Hardy, usually from JD rereads actually. But this one, these stories insisted there were worlds of adventure beyond. Oren Crowfall has lived his whole life on Ironhold, an orderly island committed to industry. But Oren learns a terrible secret. The island is dying and everyone is at risk. Can he and his robot friend Cody evade the authorities and save their home? So I'm guessing, is this Cody, the snake on the front? But I've heard that Vashti Hardy does middle grade steampunk very well. So I think that's all for this update. I am enjoying this. This is giving me 4-star vibes. It's not giving me the emotional connection, but I am still enjoying it. I like reading about French Revolution, it seems. So I just have some compiling to do, some stuff to put away, and some videos to catch up on. So that's my afternoon sorted, and I have no idea how long this vlog is going to be. So I'm going to end this update now and come back to you if anything interesting happens. It's Sunday. I have finished Liberté by Gita Trelasse, and 4 stars. It was fun. It was very well written. I didn't particularly like Camille as much as I have in the past, but it was enjoyable enough, and I did quite enjoy the first one enough to see where Camille and Sophie, her sister, end up. I'll give a full you know how these vlogs work by now. I just sort of give you initial thoughts and tell you what I'm reading, and then, sorry, I'm playing with my hair. I quite like it when it's curly like this. But yeah, you know how these vlogs work. I tell you my initial thoughts, tell you the initial rating, and then I give a full wrap-up-y review in that month's wrap-up. And I'm just looking at my TBR trolley, at my little, what would you call this, chart? Tally? But yeah, though the haul and the wrap-up videos are going to be very long, I have 18 books that I have to haul and 16 books that I've read. So that's not too bad. Okay, 14 in the month of July and 2 that I read in June, but I'd already filmed the wrap-up. So we'll just say 6. We'll just say 16. It sounds better. So I have a bit of a dilemma about what to read. I only have Goddess of Light left on my Goddess of Light left on the TBR from the official video, but this week has turned into a bit of a YA Sequelathon. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to read The Faithless Hawk by Margaret Owen, which is the sequel to The Merciless Crow, and that's only a duology, and it is YA. 2 seconds. So The Merciless Crow follows Fee, who is she's training to be the chieftain of the Crow caste, because this world is caste based, and it is, each caste is based on a bird. Crows are the bottom of the pile. They are the cleaners and the dead keepers of, they just sort of collect the bodies and burn the bodies of the plague victims that are happening. We have the phoenixes, who are the ruling class, and they have their own magic. There's also hawks, who tend to be guards. Swans are in there. I think there's an owl. There might be an owl class. But I was very intrigued about how that worked in the grand scheme of things, and the way this world works is that each caste has a magic, or a legacy almost, that is passed through birthright. That's it, birthright. And that's passed through each clan. Now the crows don't have that, but they can use other castes' magic in the way of teeth. So when the crows do their job of disposing of plague-ridden victims, and the dead bodies, they demand payment in the form of teeth, so that they can use the teeth to do their job, to survive, basically, because they are persecuted. So The Faithless Hawk is the sequel, and for some reason that title makes me a little bit nervous, but there's a map. I have the Merciless Crow as a Fairy Loot edition, which is why I couldn't wait to get the hardback. I don't normally use hardbacks, as we know, but I'm probably not going to end the vlog just yet, because I'm going to see Old later, and I don't have to have everything ready for tomorrow, because I'm still on holiday, so I can use Monday morning to edit and whatnot. But I can't get over, excuse the stains on the top, I spilled my hot chocolate this morning, but look at the curly. It's actually my hair, and I have a understanding. I let it do what it wants and it behaves. But yeah, this is looking very curly. I wear like this more often. But yeah, we'll read this, I'll probably get a little bit into it and tell you what I think. Now this book is... okay, that's the acknowledgements, they don't count. I should have checked this before I started filming, but hey ho. Aha! This book is 385 pages, and with the way I've been reading recently, I'll probably have it done by tonight, because I don't have anything else to do. But yeah, I think that's it for this update, and I'll see you soon. I'm back from the film. It was really good. I have changed my top because I did explain that I got hot chocolate all over the other one I was wearing. I went to see Old. It was really good. But I'm basically just popping in to update on the Faithless Hawk. I told you all about this before, but I am on page 254, which is chapter 19, and I am, as you can tell, flying through it. So I'll probably finish that either today or some point next week and give you wrap-up thoughts there. But that's it for this vlog, I think. So if you liked it, give it a like, and if you want to see this, talk about these, I'll hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!